Look, man, we got a special guest. We have a special guest on the Morning Roast. We love him. He's the best football player in NFL history. He's the best wide receiver in NFL history. All right? He's possibly the greatest 49er in history. And I just wonder what my man has done this offseason. Now, he's got the goat fuel out right now. I haven't sipped the goat fuel yet. I wonder why I haven't had any. I need some goat fuel. I want to feel like the GOAT. I want to feel like the greatest of all time, Langford. We got Jerry Rice on the horn, live via Zoom. He's rocking a new beard, too. Look at the beard, man.
Wow.
Look at the clean beard, Jerry. What's good?
You know what? You know, they say I look like a goat now. Beard.
Tell us about Goat Fuel, man. Well, how's your offseason been? Did you load up on Goat Fuel? Tell us about Goat Fuel.
Well, Goat Fuel is doing really well. We are scaling like crazy, and, you know, from Lucky to Safeway to Target to all the major chains. And, you know, we're building, and it's a healthier energy drink. And I think, you know, with people coming out of this pandemic, you know, they're going to watch what they put into their bodies. And I had to have something that had my core values.
Yes.
It was important to me because everybody know about me. They know about me from my work ethic. And so I went back to some old ties, and we were able to come up with the perfect energy drink. And I think people really liking it. We have 8 drinks. Eventually, we're going to have a season 3. And, you know, like I said, I'm excited about the opportunity.
Wow. So the core values in Goat Fuel. Explain the core values here, Jerry, because we know about your workouts on the mountain. And I wonder in the offseason, do you still run that mountain? Because I saw T.O. running 40-yard dashes, and I'm sure Jerry Rice is somewhere sitting like, boy, T.O. can't touch me at 40. Like, what is the core values in the Goat Fuel, Jerry?
I think just healthier ingredients. And, you know, it has the type of ingredients where you're not going to crash, you're not going to get a jitters or anything like that. So it's just going to fuel you for what you have to do, you know, for the rest of the day. And you don't have to drink 2 or 3. And, you know, people, they know, you know, it was all about productivity when I played the game, what I put in my body, the way I ate, the way I was able to, you know, fuel my engine to go out there and be exceptional out there on the football field. And I think we have put that in liquid with Goat Fuel.
Yeah, you got 4 different flavors in each pack, Jerry. So which is your go-to? Which is the go-to Goat Fuel flavor for you?
Come on, man. Come on. I like them all. Variety. I like the variety of all of them. But, you know, I think season 2 is really just going crazy right now, you know, with the watermelon fruit punch. And, you know, you can, you know, say you're in Las Vegas and you're hanging out, you know, by the pool or something like that. And, you know, if you want to add a little Tito's to that, you can do that. It's okay because you're in Las Vegas.
Jerry, I'm not cool enough to be in Vegas poolside like you, man. So I need energy just to get through the morning. So Goat Fuel's going to be my go-to. We got to check that out. Go to Goat Fuel and check that out. You can find it online, as Jerry said, Safeway. Target, that's a big-time brand. Target, I go there with my daughter. That's like a field trip for us, so I'll make sure to pick up some Goat Fuel next time. Jerry Rice, so how was the offseason? Did you monitor the 49ers situation with Jimmy Garoppolo, Deebo Samuel? How'd you spend your time off this summer?
Yeah, of course, man. You know, I'm always a Niner, and just watching everything, you know, during preseason. And I guess I'm just like everyone else. I was hoping to see a little bit more. But, you know, I guess it's just like what George Kittle said, you know, it's the preseason. But, you know, back in the day, you know, Bill Walsh, he expected you to really show something during the preseason, you know, to have a feel for what you, you know, have a feel for what was about to happen, you know, the regular season. But, you know, I think it's a new generation of guys now, and you know, they don't push that hard during preseason.
Yeah, that's the norm in the NFL right now. By the way, Carlos and Conquer saying he's on that Goat Fuel right now. Shout out to Jerry Rice. The blueberry lemonade right now is popping off for him, Carlos and Conquered. So we have Jerry Rice live on Twitch, live on YouTube, via Zoom. Of course, the GOAT, the greatest wide receiver of all time, the greatest football player in my lifetime. Of course, Jerry Rice on the horn on the Morning Roast. So let's start with the quarterback position. Should the 49ers have brought back Jimmy Garoppolo to maybe compete with Trey Lance for that starting job? What are your thoughts on the handling of the quarterback spot with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, they invested a lot into Trey Lance, so it's time for this rookie. Well, you know, this for like his second year now. You know, so I'm not going to say he's a rookie, but to put it on the field. And I think that's basically it. I think with Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, they felt like it was time to just give him complete control. Now it's up to Trey Lance to go out there and prove to everybody that, hey, look, I really deserve this starting job, and I'm gonna lead my team.
Mm-hmm. So, Jerry, Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk were able to work a lot through this offseason. They worked out down together in San Diego, and that connection is already there. Even watching practices and watching them in preseason, feeling really good about Lance and Ayuk. But I don't think he's gotten as much work with Deebo Samuel as maybe the fans would have liked. So is that something that they can adjust to through the regular season, or is the lack of offseason work maybe going to hamper them through the regular season?
I think you talk about, been about Brandon Ayuk and, what he's doing training camp and all of that. And I think it showed because the guy, like you said, they had the opportunity where they could throw together. They could get the chemistry. The body language and all of that. That's very important. And, I think that's why, with Brandon Ayuk and also, that they're so much further ahead. Deebo Samuel, it's going to take a little bit more time. But, I think if they take extra time doing practice, before practice and after practice, they can get on the same page. And, with Trey Lance, man, I had the opportunity because I was doing a commercial with him. And it didn't take me long to gel with him because I was running route for this guy at the age of, I'm not going to say my name.
Jerry, you look 30, man. You look like you're still in your prime, Jerry.
Yeah, at the age of 59, I was running routes, and
59, Jerry?
It was long to develop chemistry.
Damn, I'm getting old. Like for Jerry's 59, man. Where's my life gone, man?
Is there a player comp that you possibly had for Trey Lance when you worked with him and caught a few passes? Maybe when you worked with him a little bit, you said, you know what, this reminds me of player X.
I think it was just that. I mean, body language. Say, similar to, and I know people are going to go crazy if I say this. It didn't take me long to adjust to Joe Montana. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're running the route. You know exactly how many steps you're going to take. You know the ball is going to be in the air, the precision, everything, the velocity, all of that. And I felt the same way with Trey Lance. And I think with Trey Lance, too, he got that rocket arm, but he also got that mobility where he can get out of the pocket, extend plays, and use his legs. So, defensive coordinators, they're going to have to plan for that. Yeah. So that brings a whole different scenario to the San Francisco 49ers.
Jerry Rice on the Morning Roast with nice guy Stephen Langford in for Joe Shasky, the Butcher, and Ponte Hill live via Zoom on YouTube and Twitch. You can check him out. He's got the Go Fuel hat. We got to get one of those hats, Jerry. He's got the banner right there. Go Fuel. Check that out. It's at Target, Safeway, and many other shopping malls. Go Fuel, the best energy drink out there on the market, of course. Jerry, let's go back to Deebo Samuel for a second. He got the big contract, 3 years, $71 million. He got paid after a monster season in 2021. And he led the Niners to the NFC Championship. There's no doubt about that. But so many injuries that are coming up. He's missed a lot of time in training camp. Now he has a knee bruise on the back of the knee. He's not going to practice this week. We all know you love to practice. You love to get those reps and build that rapport with the quarterback. Should there be a little concern about Deebo Samuel that he's not practicing this week, a couple weeks ahead of the Chicago game?
I think it's thankful that they have an extra week, to prepare. But Deebo is going to have to be durable all season long because, defensive coordinators, they know what he's about now. So they're going to try to make things a little bit more difficult for him. I think the guy that's really, really going to have a breakout year is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because, with all that single coverage and all of that and all that attention going on George Kittle too, this guy, he got to blossom this year. And if he does that, it's going to take some of the pressure off Deebo Samuel and also George Kittle. But also Danny Gray. I think Danny Gray, I think they call him the Gray Ghost or something like that. He's making plays, and I had a chance to, at the 49er Foundation, to stand up next to this guy and he was looking down at me. So I was like, my God. But, the guy can run, and he's not afraid to go across the middle. So, we have the weapons on offense. Mm-hmm. The question mark is the offensive line and also the running backs. So, if all of those components come together, it's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah, sticking with the wide receiver core, Jerry, they're going to be, seeing a new quarterback in Trey Lance who has the ability to extend plays, kind of unlike Jimmy Garoppolo. It was a lot of system. It was a lot of two-step drops. All right, throw right to wherever the route is going to end up. But these guys are going to have a chance to play a little bit of backyard football, so to speak. So is that something that wide receivers just relish, or is there going to have to be some sort of adjustment that's made with a new quarterback?
Well, there's going to be adjustments, but, I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off Trey Lance, because he knows that he can get the ball in the hands of his playmakers, and he doesn't have to force it or anything like that. And when you got so many weapons, who are you going to take away? And whoever you take away, the next guy up got to hurt you 100%.
Yep.
He got to make plays.
Yep.
So it's fun to see all of this happening. I'm interested to see how Kyle Shanahan is going to put this together for Trey Lance.
Yeah,
where, this guy can, where he doesn't feel the pressure, where he can just go out and play football, where we can have him healthy the entire season. And if all of that should happen, I think we're going to have a fantastic season. It's going to be exciting to see this young kid just, become a superstar.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Trey Lance. Jerry Rice, you heard that right there. Trey Lance could become a potential superstar here. He called passes from him doing a commercial. Jerry Rice live on YouTube and Twitch via Zoom on the Morning Roast. Look, you talking about the offensive line, if they can hold up. They have possibly 4 new starters on the offensive line because we don't know about the health of Mike McGlinchey. We know Trent Williams is at left tackle. Do you believe that the preseason has any effect on the regular season? And by me saying that is, can the offensive line improve? Is that just a small sample size of what they can do in the preseason? Because it wasn't pretty, Jerry.
Yeah, I think the new generation of football, I think these players can not show as much during the preseason. But in the old days, we had to show, what we had. And we wanted to go into that first game knowing what we had. So, I'm old school, and I preferred it that way, but the new generation is totally different. But that offensive line, they got to come together to protect, Trey Lance. And then you have the running back, situation.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to unfold, but, there's still some things that really have to come into play. And if it does, I think the Niners got a chance to have a very productive season.
No doubt about that. Elijah Mitchell back at practice yesterday. Jerry, you still have Jeff Wilson Jr. We'll see about Trey Sermon. His cut-down day is tomorrow at 1 p.m. West Coast time. We'll see what the final 53-man roster looks like for the 49ers. Defensively, everybody's talking about him. The Jimmy Ward injury concerns me. He's going to miss the first 4 games with the hamstring injury. But this defensive line, Jerry, is deep. Nick Bosa, you play with some great defensive ends. Charles Haley, you play with Ricky Jackson. Nick Bosa, where does he stack up amongst the best of them, man? Because he looks like he's on track for the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think Nick is going to be Nick. And, he's a force on that football field. But the key to this defense is going to be Javon Kinlaw. And if Kinlaw, man, this guy, I had a chance to stand up next to this guy at training camp. and he's an animal, man. He's an animal. The size of him and stuff like that. If he really develops and be a factor, I think it's going to open the door, for Nick Bosa and all of those guys.
Yeah, keeping with the defensive line, what about Eric Armstead? We were having a conversation last week about which players going into this season. You have zero doubt that they're going to ball out this year. And Eric Armstead was a name that came up. What do you think of him, Jerry?
I really like him on that defensive line. So, we got the weapons. We got the players in the secondary. I'm excited to see this defense come together because if they come together, you win championships with defense. That's always been the case here with San Francisco 49ers. And we got a lot of weapons. We got, guys that going to make plays in that secondary, that's going to make interceptions, that's going to have turnovers and all of that. But it starts with that, that front line, putting pressure on the quarterback.
Jerry, what's going on with the dog there, man? The dog, he wants in on the interview?
My dogs are going back and forth. They just, I don't know. I thought I took some of that energy away from them at this point.
It sounds like they're ready to go for a walk, Jerry.
Hey, guys, out. No, please, out. Out.
I got one last one before we let you go, Jerry. Going back to the wide receivers. How much, because everybody knows if you grew up in San Francisco, it starts with you at the wide receiver position. There's John Taylor, there's T.O., there's Crabtree, there's Bolden. How much do these young receivers reach out to you to get information, to get intel about being a wide receiver for the 49ers? Because it's different than being a wide receiver than, say, the Seattle Seahawks. You're a receiver for the 49ers, and the standard that you set for over the course of your career. Does Deebo and Brandon Ayuk reach out to you for information, for intel, to break down film?
Guys, I think it's a whole different game now. You look at football, the run-pass option, it's a totally different game now. When I played back in the day, you had to be able to run routes. You had to be able to get separation, where the quarterback could throw the ball. And also you had to be a blocking receiver also. So, you look at more now, bubble screens. They're not throwing the ball downfield as much. Mm-hmm. So they don't have that route tree, because that was something that I always practiced back in the day, from all my routes. The timing of it, the West Coast offense and stuff like that. And now you look at, the run-pass option, they're not even under center anymore. So, those slant routes, those quick outs, those hook routes and all that, I think those days are gone.
Jerry, one more for you. So tomorrow is the deadline to cut down the roster from 80 to 53. Do you feel like after 1 p.m. tomorrow that Jimmy Garoppolo will still be on the roster?
I don't think there's any big suitors right now coming after Jimmy G. And you would think that with what he has done, that you would have teams coming after him. So I'm thinking that the Niners made the right decision. It's time to move on. I think there's a good chance that he's probably still going to be on the roster unless something happens between Cleveland or Seattle. And I think they already made the call in Seattle that Geno is going to be the starting quarterback there.
Would you be open to having Jimmy as a backup on this team? Now, obviously, the price tag, you'd have to slash it in half, possibly.
It's just that price tag.
Yeah. I mean, if something happened to Trey, it's not the worst thing in the world to have Jimmy. Now, how do you think that would fly in the locker room? You was around Joe Montana and Steve Young. You know about quarterback controversies. You know about that dynamic. Would it be a bad thing for Jimmy to actually be a backup on this team?
No, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think, with Trey is his time. He doesn't want to be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because this guy, he's going to have some adversity. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some ups and downs. And, if you got a quarterback on as a backup like Jimmy G, maybe, he feels like, well, that's really pressured. There's pressure there because, Kyle Shanahan might decide to go back with Jimmy G.
Well said, Jerry. Let the people know again where they can find Go Fuel as well as online. I know GoFuel.com. You can find out all the flavors you can find out about all the flavors on GoFuel.com. But what stores can they go to? Where can they drive to go get some Go Fuel?
It's all over the Bay, man. Just, go on GoFuel.com, click onto it. We from, like I said, Target, Safeway, Lucky's, all the major chains. I'm excited about this opportunity, and I got my GOAT family out there. I'm very appreciative of that, and I want to say to all of you guys are all GOATs. You guys are the greatest of all time.
We love it, Jerry. We can't wait for football season. Go Fuel. Inject it all into my veins, Jerry. We'll do it again soon, man. Thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning. We love your insight.
All right, let's go, guys.
Thanks so much, Jerry.
The GOAT. Greatest of all time, Jerry Rice.